guys, and welcome back to the Passion and Priorities Insta Book Club. We are already on Chapter 4 of Why Men Love Bitches by Sherry Argov, and I am here live. I'm talking to you guys live on Facebook and on Instagram. I welcome you. I thank you for joining me today. I just want you guys to know tomorrow is my 26th birthday. So I am very, very excited. I turn 26 tomorrow. So I praise God. I thank God that I'm here another year. So I just wanted to let you guys know. I will not be going live on the weekends. But we are already on Chapter 4, Dumb Like a Fox. So we have gone through why men prefer bitches. We've gone from the doormat to the dream girl. Thank you. Love you too. I see a message on Facebook, Jason. Thank you. Love you too. So guys, we have gone from the doormat to the dream girl. We understand why men prefer bitches now. We know how to hold our own. We know that we got to give them one jujube at a time and to not give it all away. We've been to the candy store. We just finished and wrapped up the candy store. So now we are on to Dumb Like a Fox, right? So those of you who are just joining me, there are 10 characteristics of what a bitch is, and it's not in a derogatory way, but it's just explaining and giving examples and instructions on how to hold your own in any relationship, right? So a few times Sherry Argov goes over how to establish yourself in the relationship. And one thing is, you never take any crap from him when it comes to him comparing you to another woman. That's just completely unacceptable. When he starts comparing you to another woman or thinks he's going to bring up another woman, shut it down. And you let him know, well, pretty much that doesn't interest you. Sherry says, you tell him, honey, I'm not one of the guys. Please don't tell me about your other women that you've been with. And that will shut it down. And Sherry says, anytime a woman competes with another woman, she demeans herself. So ladies, let's not compete. Because guess what? What I tell a man if he ever, what I would tell a man if he ever, thought he could compare me is like, if that's who you're talking about right now, that's obviously who you want to be with. So you should just go be with them, because, I'm not her and I'm not the one. So if that's who you want to talk about, obviously she's on your mind. If that's who you want to be with, you should be with her, right? And Sherry also confirmed that, never make a man feel like he has that power over you to the point that you're insecure, right? Men sense insecurities, and we don't, we want to have that confidence. So I'm about confidence building. So I encourage you ladies to arch your back, have your chin up, and walk with power, because we have that power, right? So, but now we're going to learn how to convince him he's in control while you run the show. So let's get into power, right? There's a quote here that says, I have an idea that the phrase weaker sex was coined by some woman to disarm the man she was preparing to overwhelm. So that's a quote by Ogden Nash. The dumb fox handles his ego with kid gloves. In the last chapter, we touched on why power is intoxicating to a man in the very same way that romance is intoxicating to a woman. And now let's take a closer look, ladies. In order to motivate a man to give, he must feel good when he gives. He wants to feel appreciated when he gives. Ego is the reason men go to war. Sherry says it's the reason they build large corporations. Ego was the reason they stick needles in their butts at the gym before lifting heavy weights. Thank you for checking in, Auntie. We are reading Why Men Love Bitches. Thank you for checking in. I see you live on Facebook. Thank you. Ego is the reason why they stick needles in their butts at the gym before lifting heavy weights. It's the reason they beg, steal, and borrow. And ego is the reason they fall in love. Isn't that so sweet, right? Sherry says, the explanation may sound obvious, but it's not. A man needs to feel manly. Guys, is that true? A man needs to feel manly. That's why he won't stop to ask for directions. It doesn't matter if you tell him that 6 exits ago he was supposed to go west, he'll still push to the pedal. He'll still push the pedal to the metal and hightail in the opposite direction. Men don't get lost. They merely A, get familiar with another area, B, change destinations, C, look to see what is down another street, or D, explore new terrain. Men just don't get lost. That's what they just don't, for some reason. Thank you for joining me again, you guys. I see you on Instagram, I see you on Facebook, and I appreciate you joining me, right? So, Sherry says, men are never lost. He's never lost. No Inspector Gadget is merely checking things out. In every last square foot of a 37-mile radius, that is outside the intended destination. If you want him to turn right, tell him, I think it might be to the left, you guys. And I'm not reading an attraction principle yet, but this is just the introduction to the chapter. So Sherry says, if you want him to turn right, tell him, I think it might be to the left. In a man's mind, his navigation skills will always be superior to a woman. Hey, nice guy. It's okay. I appreciate that you joined me on Instagram. So, I mean, it's live, so you could always go back and watch it for the next 24 hours. So, Sherry says, it's all about his ego, which has no direction and no line of rotation. The 3 words guaranteed to turn any man on, you are right. You are right. Just tell him, you're right. You know what? You're right. So if we want him to go left, we tell him it's to the right. If we want him to go right, we tell him it's to the left. If we want anything done, we got to tell him it's the opposite, ladies. Alicia on Facebook says they may not have to give. They may not have to give? What do you mean? I'm not quite sure what you mean. Let me see what she means. Right? So Sherry says, you'll never convince him otherwise, so don't bother trying. Let him be right. You be smart. This is precisely the reason the dumb fox lets a man think he's in control. When you appeal to his feeling of power, you charge up his batteries. Then you're giving him what he needs, and he doesn't even know it. Attraction principle number 32. Let's get in here. Let's jump right in. Let him think he's in control. He'll automatically start doing things you want done because he'll always want to look like a king in your eyes. A couple of times a week, when he's kind or generous, let him know he's the top dog. Let him feel as though he's the alpha dog and the grand poobah. He wears the pants and he is the man. Meanwhile, guess who's getting their way? My friend Annette learned this the hard way. She made the mistake of telling her new boyfriend about how she had killed a snake in her backyard. I'm never killing anybody's snake in anybody's backyard. I'm telling you that right now. Sherry says he asked her, how in the world did you kill it? She went on in detail about how she used a very large shovel to do battle. Ladies, we know she should have never done that, right? Because he needs to feel like the man. So, Sherry says, a look of complete and utter horror came across his face as she gave him graphic detail about how she did it. Later that night, he couldn't even get an erection. He probably was thinking about how she killed the snake. An obvious penal code infraction When you act too much like Tarzan, he feels too much like Jane. I like that. I'm going to actually post that on my story after this. When you act like Tarzan, he feels too much like Jane. Guys, is that true? Do you feel less masculine when your lady knows how to do something or knows how to do something that you know how to do? Does that make you feel less masculine? So Sherry says, don't even kill a bug around him. Don't change a tire. In fact, don't even change a light bulb. For any red-blooded male, the feeling that he is the man is the ticket. This doesn't mean that you should be docile all the time. At the same time, you offer him a mental challenge. Remember that he needs to have his ego stroked. There is a very big difference between catering to his ego and appearing needy. You shouldn't show that you need him. You shouldn't show that you need help to help you with. You shouldn't show that you need help with common sense, coping with everyday life, emotional stability, reassurance in your self-worth, self-esteem, and feeling complete as a person. These things signify neediness. However, you can show that you need and appreciate his masculinity. He'll absolutely eat out of the palm of your hand when he feels like his manliness is appreciated. So, with that being said, we cannot, ladies, we should not be so, I know how to do it, because then the man doesn't feel like the man. Right? So we have to stroke their egos. Right? So attraction principle number 33, when you cater to his ego in a soft way, he doesn't try to get power in an aggressive way. Praise is an effective tool in getting him to treat you the way you want. So this is a short chapter. So we're almost done, these two attraction principles. But Sherry says, don't complain. Don't say, well, you used to bring me flowers. From this point forward, every bouquet he gives you is the prettiest flowers that you've ever seen. The most beautiful. Oh my God, these are so beautiful. Just, it's the most beautiful bouquet that you've ever seen. Don't complain that he doesn't take you out enough. Instead, every restaurant he takes you to is unbelievable or amazing. Like, wow, the ambiance, right? We gotta wow, this is so nice. Even if we've been there already, oh wow, I've never been here before. I'm not saying lie, but just make him feel like he's doing something special, even though he is doing something special. But we have to stroke his ego so that we can create repeated behavior. It's just like when you want a dog to do something, you give him a treat, right? Guys, I am not comparing you to dogs. I'm not comparing you to animals at all. Do not be offended. But it's just like when you give an animal a treat. And the same goes for us. When you stroke our egos, guys, we feel appreciated. So when we feel appreciated, we're more likely to want to do it again, right? So it's all about appreciation. Sherry says, when he asks if you've been to the restaurant, look, she already said it. When he asks if you've been to the restaurant before, don't tell him about 2 ex-boyfriends ago who took you there in the very same romantic corner table you are sitting at now. No. Don't go into detail unless you never want to go back to that restaurant again or another date with him again. So that wraps up those attraction principles. And then the next attraction principle is actually pretty extensive. Attraction principle number 34, which I'm going to go into on Monday because I want to give you something to look forward to. I'll just read it so you know. When you appear softer and more feminine, you appeal to his instinct to protect. When you appear more aggressive, you appeal to his instinct to compete. So I want to leave you with something to think about. Do we want him to protect us, or do we want him to compete with us? Do we want him to feel like, I have to make sure that she's good. We gotta meet them halfway. Guys, we have to meet the guys halfway. And guys, you have to meet us halfway as well. So Protection versus competition. That is on Monday's agenda. We are going to read attraction principle number 34 and attraction principle number 35. So we are done today. Thank you guys for joining me while we read Why Men Love Bitches by Sherry Argov. Tune in on Monday, 8 p.m. sharp. I'll be here waiting for you. I want you guys to have a great weekend. I know I am, because tomorrow is my 26th birthday. Praise God. And I'm just so excited. So I'll see you guys on Monday. Be sure to check out www.passionandpriorities.com. I will be posting a new article on Sunday. Thank you and peace out.